Mike, Dr. B here. Welcome to Dr. B Uncensored, where we interview candid thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and founders to tell their story to inspire and inspire others to do the same. Hopefully, you enjoyed this episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of my show. I am Dr. B, Dr. Heidelberg. I'm here with the great Matt Ruttenberg. Matt, how are you?
Good, Dr. B. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. I'm glad we finally made it happen. I'm excited for
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
All right, brother. Easy question. Well, not depending on who you ask, right? Tell everyone about yourself. That's the first question I'm going to open up with.
Yeah, big question too. But yeah, I am co-owner of Life Inc. Retirement Services. I have been in the financial industry, B2C, B2B for over 20 years now. And basically we build out custom retirement plan stacks for business owners, successful business owners looking to start stockpiling, save money on taxes, things like that. So basically a third generation financial entrepreneur, if you will.
Got it. And we'll take a deeper dive with that in a minute. All right, cool. So tell us about your education. I know we spoke in the green room prior to us, coming on in the pre-interview. But tell us how'd you get to where you're at today, as far as education
So
wise,
yeah, I grew up in Northeast Ohio and got my finance degree from Kent State University. Like I said, third generation. So I kind of like walked in my dad's tracks, my grandfather's tracks, his path that they kind of started straight out of college, and uh, got all my licensing, Series 7, 6, 65, all that fun stuff, and was doing a lot of B2C back then. Individual conversations with people with their retirement and their investing and things like that, and it just wasn't clicking. It wasn't something I was really having fun with. It felt repetitive to me. And I don't know, 10 years in, I decided to sell that side of my business and focus only on the business owners and entrepreneurs, because I mean, every single person is different. Every journey is different. Every entrepreneur is different, and I just love hearing what they're doing and how they're building it. And then, real estate investors, things like that. And so I started leaning into those and having more fun with those conversations naturally. And over the course of maybe 10 years, I started only focusing on that and becoming an absolute specialist in that area. And that's where I'm at now. So my business partners have been in the business for 20 years. And we have a pretty good team behind us that all are experts in their respective departments, if you will.
Got it. Awesome. So just let me just clarify or get this straight. So you was working with one-on-one with individuals and families and then pivoted into businesses. And do you still deal with the buy sell and a whole piece, or do you delegate that, or do you strictly focus on like setting up the retirement plans for those businesses?
Yeah. So our absolute focus is building out custom, retirement plan stacks. But because we are more of a white glove, hands-on, consultative approach, we identify things. So if there's other tax strategies that we feel like our clients are missing, we work with tax strategists and CPAs and things like that, and communicate with those professionals and those other specialists to make sure it's done. However, during our conversations, we identify whether or not there's multiple owners or there's some buy-sell agreements that need to be put into place, um, or some other protection, risk management, if you will. And we have a sister company which is an insurance agency that allows us to um, implement and create and design those safety measures, because you're in business, for clients. You're also in business with your business partners. If you're not related to those, if it's a third party non-related person, you want to have some sort of protection with that buy sell, even if it's a brother or sister, because if something happens, you're now in business with your in-laws or your business partner's spouse. So do you want to do that? Yes or no? That's a simple question. And if not, then you need to have buy sell agreement. It's like having a will. The buy sell is like having the will. If you have kids, if you own any property whatsoever or assets, everybody needs a will. this is the will for a business, is a buy-sell agreement.
Got it. You know, I'm sort of, if you remember, I'm sort of from the business, so I kind of like moved out of the business, but I'm still like heavily
Yeah.
involved, right? A little bit to an extent, right?
Yep.
So, do you have an in-house attorney that helps with like the estate planning stuff, or if at all, or do you even work, or do you
Nope.
just okay?
We that's somewhat state specific as well, depending on what state. We're a national company. So when we run through those scenarios, we will often refer that out or have them work with their specific attorneys for that
You're
situation. Yeah.
expensive to have someone full time, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. It's better to just have partners, right?
Exactly. We help fund it. We help fund the buy sell, I
Right,
guess is the best way to explain it, which is
right.
sometimes you use insurance, sometimes you use cash flow, whatever's best for that scenario. But yeah, that's where we fit into that mix.
Love that. Love that. So I think you alluded to this already, but can you just clarify again your origin story of how'd you start, Life Inc. Retirement Services? I think you can you expand on that again?
Yeah, Life Inc. is a collection of the three business partners. It was founded by our president and CEO Ryan Neff, who founded it 10 years ago. And he came from a background with one of the big boys, if you will, where him and our other partner were actually helping these monster companies in their retirement plans. And the customization and the attention to detail and the dedicated support that those monster companies were getting, we wanted to bring that down to small businesses. So, under 100 employees, under 50 employees, under 25 employees, but they're successful and they have a profit and they're building out something, and that's their baby, and we want to help them and be a part of that. So our business model, it's kind of somewhat of a unicorn business model, if you will, but we have a very boutique style feel, right? When you speak to someone in our company, it's an expert. It's someone who understands the question, if you will. It's not an 800 number. And we are a national company, but we feel like a local shop that you can get answers from. So that's how it's built. And the customization side of it is so important. I mean, it's mostly unknown, and there's a lot of miscommunication out there that 401ks and defined benefit plans, they're all off the shelf, and a 401k is a 401k is a 401k. That is far from the truth. It's a vast world. There is a lot of gray area, and being able to pivot on a dime because you're small, because you're a micro company, if you will. Every little change in your company is very important with the design of your retirement plan stack. And if you lose an employee or you add an employee, how's that going to affect them? You're in competition for your clients, but you're also in competition for employees, because that's really what separates you, is your employee pool, and making sure you can take care of them is number one. But two, are we taking care of you as the business owner? So we build those in and customize it and amend the plan anytime we need to, because daily your business is going to evolve. So your plan needs to evolve.
Got it. So we're gonna expand on that plan, right? As you talk about
Hmm.
evolution. So how do you help small business owners specifically, like with their 401k?
Yeah, so let's kind of take a step back. I keep mentioning this
And we just
term
dived into it. My
retirement
bad.
plan.
I
Yeah,
just
no,
jumped
you're
in.
good. It's retirement plan stack, right? That's what it keeps. That's I mentioned that, and that's what we call it. It's a retirement plan stack, because 401k is the beginning. That's the start of what you're doing. And when I say 401ks are, 401ks, that's not the truth. It's everyone's. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of difference between one company and the next, and how it's administered, and what's your plan document look like. So the 401k is, the bottom of this three-tiered upside down wedding cake is the retirement plan stack. The very bottom is the core, is your 401k. And then you start adding profit sharing, and then you add defined benefit plan, then you can buy added executive benefits, and you're building the stack. And every single stack is created differently than what your competitors will look like, because every business is different, so it needs to look different. And we go through the conversation with everybody who talks to it, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people who we talk to. It's the same flow of the conversation. Is question one, why are you talking to us? What's the purpose of this conversation? Is it for you? Are we building this for you, or are we building this for your employees? Or is it yes to both? We want to stockpile, we want to save taxes, but we also want to make sure that we are recruiting and retaining our employees. And the way you answer that takes us down to a path of what is this plan going to look like? And then the second question is, what kind of profit are we working with? What is it that you want to, what's your budget on this? Is If this is just for you, how much do you want to stockpile? Or if the number one priority is taxes, what is this tax bill and what do we need to do to offset this? And when you're building this retirement plan stack, you're able to put in 6 digits, 7 digits of contributions depending on your business model. And the efficiency rating that we build it on is very important on what that number one question was. So, for example, if we have a business owner who gives us a call and says, hey, I need a plan. The purpose is me. I want to stockpile. I just want to do right by my employees and give them whatever I need to keep everybody happy. But really the priority is myself. I have a high profit, taxes are killing me, and I need to do something, right? So we build the retirement plan stack based on their second question, what is your budget? And we try to keep it as about 90% or higher efficiency rating. So what I mean by that is, if you're putting in $500,000 into this plan, or $100,000 in this plan, or $1 million in this plan, we want 90+% to go to you as the owner, right? We want 900 grand going to you. We want 450,000 going to you, because this is your baby. This business is your baby, and you've been building it, and you deserve to be able to take that. Now, we get a lot of people who say, I don't want to put any money in this plan. That second question is, I don't want to do anything because I'm still in growth mode. I'm still reinvesting into the business, or I don't like traditional investments. I don't like mutual funds. So we'll design it to where they don't put any money into it. It's only for the employee. Or we get in, add real estate, cryptocurrency, whatever they want to add into the plan. 401k is just a tax code. It doesn't say what's the investments look like. That's part two of the conversation. Do we want to get into self-directed side of things? Do we want to get into just straight mutual funds? Do we want to do Vanguard funds? Whatever it is,
Yeah, that was my
that's
next
part two
question.
of the
We're gonna get into
conversation.
that.
Yeah, that
Real estate
I'll let you
investment.
go. I'll let you segue into that then. I'll let you take that part. Go for it. Because that is
Yeah, so let's
design
say,
is one. Yeah.
I love it, man. Fantastic. Before I get into that, do you also help folks? You was talking about the retirement stack. Do you help folks with like key person insurance, like for those individuals who have those folks that make like 80-90% of the revenue for the business? Do you kind of help with that?
Yeah, mission critical employees, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's part of, there's two kinds of retirement plans. There's qualified, and I could probably spin that saying there's two kinds of retirement plans, and it depends on the perspective I'm talking about here. But there's qualified plans, which is more, fairness laws come into play, where everyone, to the most part, you need to give something to somebody. And that's a larger conversation there, that we can cut people out of that, but that's pre-tax. Those are Roth. Those are the tax benefits, right?
Yep, yep,
Then there's non-qualified, and that's a non-qualified plan are like executive benefits.
yep.
Okay. And executive benefits means you can isolate individuals on your team, like just the C-suite, or just the mission critical person. Or, for example, you have your staff, but you want to expand into a new part of your field, and you need this team member to come in and help run it. But you want to really bring this person in because they are top notch, mission critical to help you move. So we want to implement a non-qualified executive benefit for only that person, where everyone else gets the 401k profit sharing, but this person gets something special above and beyond that. And that could be a non-qualified, where a lot of times we'll add insurance to that aspect of it, using key person reasoning,
A reason.
meaning like if something happens to this person, the business needs to have some sort of money come in to find somebody new.
Right.
But like a signing bonus or to help fund the salary of the next, because you're going to see a dip in your income, your
Right.
revenue for a few years.
Short term.
So that's the key person insurance part of it. But also, how do you fund it? It's through bonus structures, but you want to make sure that there's some quote unquote golden handcuffs involved on that side of it, where you know, we'll dangle this carrot ahead of them. LTIP is one, long-term incentive plan, where we're going to give you X% per year. We'll give it to you every 5 years. And if you're not here in 5 years, you're not going to get it. And then that stays on the balance sheet of the business. That's something you would add on top of the 401k match, or on top of the profit sharing or defined benefit plan scenarios that we can add on top. So that would be a fourth layer on top of on that retirement plan stack that I'm referring to.
I'm glad I gave you a bonus. Or
Yeah, right.
as well with the bonus. Now let's
Yeah.
get. Thank you, man. Fantastic. Thank you for that fantastic answer. Now let's get into, let's say, once you help set up the 401ks, like how do you get into, like, how does that conversation go when you meet with your client to say, hey, look, I want to invest a percentage in real estate or crypto. How does that work? Are you
Mhm.
Does your firm act as a custodian? Can you kind of get into that a little bit if possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's three roles to every plan. Okay. And we're kind of digging back into the uh not the qualified plans, right? The
Qualified plan. Yep.
401k, the profit
Yep.
sharing, the defined benefit.
Yep. Yep.
And there's three roles to every plan. There's the administrator, which is who's doing the compliance around it, who's creating that legal document for your plan. It's called an adoption agreement. And then who's acting as the investment fiduciary, who's making the investment decisions. And that final role is, where's the money being held, right? If it's Fidelity, it's just, I just want mutual funds. We can do that. Stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency. We need to find a cryptocurrency custodian. We open up the account at the cryptocurrency, Coinbase, things like that, and or real estate, right? And if you're doing real estate, whether it's like a syndicate or if you're doing a fund of some kind, um, those can be held within your retirement plan. Think about this: the 401k. Just talk about the bottom layer now of that retirement plan. 401k is just a code, right? You can have as many custodians underneath that umbrella, that 401k umbrella. You just can't have more than one umbrella, right? So you can have as many. You can say, okay, I need a percentage of my money to go to index funds. The other one's going to go to crypto. The other one's going to go to real estate. You can have all of it, and then it's just we have to organize it, and that's our job. So we have software that does that. We have a very white glove version of self-directed solo 401k software, where you can have unlimited assets. I just had a meeting yesterday about this. You can act as a private lender. You can invest in the real estate. It's just making sure that everything flows through that plan in and out. And then that's how we track it, and that's how we keep that compliant. And you can invest in a lot of different things, a lot of things you don't even realize. And you can do that inside your 401k and get the tax benefits around it.
Why do you think not everyone knows enough about it? People just assume, hey, I'm gonna set it up for my business, and automatically assume Wall Street. Why don't they think about crypto or real estate or other things? I don't know.
Why don't they get into that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it goes back to the content that's out there, right? The information that's
Agreed.
out there,
Education
and
or lack thereof, right?
lack thereof. It's okay, open a 401k. Okay. Google 401k, and the top ones that come up are what you do. And it really comes down, like I said, there's two kinds of plans, right? I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to do it from a different angle here. There's two kinds of plans.
It's
There's
okay, man. All
prototype,
right. Sometimes you
right?
gotta repeat
That's
things
a
two, three times, right?
well, it's a different. This is from a different angle. So this one's like, are we, I said qualified, not qualified, but this is, how is that design? How's the plan designed? What's the adoption agreement look like? And there's two kinds. There's basically boilerplate, and there's custom. Boilerplate is you go to the easy one that you find on the internet. What they do is they create one plan document, and you plug in your name, and that's about it. There's some customization to it, like eligibility and things like that, but that's it. It's boilerplate. It's like going to LegalZoom and downloading your trust documents and plugging your name in. Versus the other side of it is hiring the attorney itself, building it out custom to what you want to do, how you want this, how you want the investments to look and things like that. So if you're going to go to, all plans are created equal type scenario, you're going to get the mutual funds, you're going to get the index funds, maybe stocks if you're lucky. But when you go the more custom non-prototype side of it, the lawyer side of it, or the lawyer is designing your legal document, that's where we come in. We're the ones designing that for your business, and you're able to get into, I mean, it's vast. There's so much more gray area to these plans. And those are the ones where it's just, where are they getting their information from? I speak to a lot of CPAs. I train CPAs and tax strategists about what you can do. And they sit back like, wow, I didn't know I can get that much money. For one, the plan design is number one. And then what are you investing in is number two. And they just don't realize it. They just don't know that everyone thinks all 401ks are created equal, and I got to do mutual funds. And that's far from the truth.
Agreed, man. 100%. We're winding down our time. We could go for hours, right? But
All right.
unfortunately, I don't want to. I don't want to worry about it. What final thoughts for the entrepreneur? That's like, let's say, all right, they got, they make a couple of dollars, but but they want to be able to, I guess, secure for retirement. What advice would you give that entrepreneur?
It's okay to be late to the game. Entrepreneurs are unique. They're different than the fold, right? Going into you're working for a company, you got a W-2, they give you a 401k right off the bat, and you're stockpiling for retirement. Entrepreneurs are different. They are so focused on their business, and it's their, like I said, it's their baby. They're looking down for years trying to grow this thing, and all of a sudden they look up, they're like, oh, I got a profit and a big tax bill. And I'm telling you, the average person we talk to is over 40 years old, for sure, and they have nothing in place until they have a big tax bill because they've been reinvesting into the business. So it's okay to start late if you need to. Starting something is better than nothing, and adding these stacks on top of it. You don't have to go all in on day one. You can start small and start stacking these things as you pivot and as you evolve. And as your tax bill gets bigger, your profit gets bigger. So it's just asking for information. Don't be stuck on just what you hear on or see or read on the internet, or who's telling. You have to be able to go out there and find it on your own, because it is a huge world, much bigger than most people realize. And just asking questions and doing it ahead of time is even more important. Deadlines are big. As we're recording this podcast right now, we're still doing 2024. We're implementing and saving people 5-6 digits in taxes for 2024 right now. And it's August, whatever, 6th or something like that right now. So just being ahead of that and understanding the deadlines and asking questions, even if you're not ready, 2 years down the line, you know what you're going to do.
I love that. That's great advice. Where can people find more information about you and your firm?
Yeah, we have a really great landing page set up for everybody. Just go to 401k.expert. And then you'll see some case studies on there, some information about who we are and what you can actually do with a plan. And it's really simple. It's just go talk to somebody. We have everyone on our team just to educate. We're not salespeople. We just educate. And if you want us to follow up with you at a certain time, we'll follow up with you and help you implement it, and give you all the education and how much it's going to cost and things like that to you. So 401k.expert.
401k.expert. Very easy. Easy peasy. Matt, thank you so much for being on my show. I appreciate all the information. It's very valuable, and let's definitely connect privately as well. So thank you so much. Thanks for being on my show.
Thanks, Dr. B.
Matt, everybody. Hi, everybody. Dr. B here, Dr. B Uncensored. Hopefully, you enjoyed that episode. Remember, you are one big deal away. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel now. Take care.